the group that we have today, you lot are really service workers, man. Like, I can feel the energy of it. You serve, and that's partly why this prayer has come out in the way that it has, because it's about recognizing the unspoken service. I feel tears. A lot of you in this room want to cry because you have been doing a lot of work unthanked. You've been extending yourselves, taking care of people, things, taking care even of yourself with no support often, and often with no true recognition of the cost of what you're doing. Because the truth is, this group, you do it willingly. I don't feel resentment. I don't feel the energy here. The full card and the Eight of Pentacles, exactly. Look at how light your energy is. Look at how open-hearted you are. Four and the Eight of Pentacles, about the work, the service, the devotion that you give. Hearts wide open. You do not give with resentment, you give freely. But there is this exchange. It's really making me think about and laugh at a conversation I was having with a friend. And you know what? The Five of Coins jumped out of this particular deck, but I'm not using that deck. So it was hidden in here. And at that moment, it jumped out. This Five of Coins card, malnourishment here. Poverty. But this energy is coming through, and really there isn't. I love this particular card in this hoodoo deck, because whilst there is malnourishment, this is also people being taken care of by a spiritualist, right? They're in the woods, they're getting the medicine. And I feel like there's like twofold energy here, where your presence today is about you being in the woods and getting the medicine. That's what it's here for. And you can feel, I can feel the energy of this theme about like tending to the root, tending to the ground, earth energy coming through so strongly here. And so it's like, yes, there is impoverishment of energy, of resources, of hope even, but you are here to be tended to. But also the issue that you're having as the service workers coming through this week is that you're not being properly invested into, because it's actually not about thanks. I don't think that it's like you need to hear people say to you, oh, thank you so much for doing that for me. But I feel like there is a way that people carry themselves and engage with you when they respect what you've been doing for them, when they respect the role that you've been willing to play. And I feel what they're showing me, and I'll be honest, this is the first group that started with this open channel like this. You all need to hear this. They're showing me like, firstly, it was scaffolding, and then they adjusted it to fencing, because I think the energy of scaffolding was like too firm. But with this fencing, what I feel like is you're protecting others, but it is like, it's like a wired fence. So I feel like it's not rigid, like, you know, metal can bend, like it has this like flexibility, this movement to it. You're not like really harsh and firm with these boundaries. You give people space, like, but you are the container for so much. You are the support system, or the reason that certain things function. Like, it is because of you. And so you're expecting people to recognize that. And sometimes what they're showing me is the recognition could be as simple as an alarm system has been set up in the house, and all you're saying is, when you go out the door, set the alarm on. You're not asking for anything more. You didn't say to them, I need you to meet this person, learn the system, set it up, be here, check it from outside. You've got all of that. All you said was, when you leave the house, turn the alarm system on. And then they don't do it. So it's like, okay, so you're taking me for a fool then. Do you know what I mean? It's that kind of energy. So I feel like there's this exhaustion, and I think the alarm system is appropriate for two reasons. One, your internal alarm system is going off, but also I feel like there is this sense that it is something that relates to maintenance, right? You're not saying to people, it's not about luxury. It's actually not about a holiday. It's not about indulgent things in life. You are doing acts of service that make the small things, the function of life work. And you just want people to give you the respect of recognizing that you do that enough to Cecilia, you're really singing my life with your words. I love that. You need them to recognize enough to carry themselves and handle you a certain way. Ooh. And when I stopped and like stopped my prayer to speak to you, I was actually about to pray for protection, or I started praying for protection over this space, but it's like it interrupted because you are the protectors. Like, and I don't think it's very interesting. I feel the energy that as the protectors, I don't feel that you will really pray or ask for protection. You don't do it. You don't recognize yourself as, sorry, I just wanted to change the light in a bit. You don't recognize yourself as needing protection necessarily. Wrong. Correction. You don't recognize yourself as necessarily having access to stable systems of protection. So there may be times where you feel protected. A friend might ride out for you. A parent might do something really loving for you and makes you feel safe and protected. But in terms of like this ongoing bodily experience of being rooted and grounded, you don't see that as coming from anywhere outside of yourself. And so it doesn't occur to you enough that you should ask to be protected. Like you need to ritualize protection, especially because of the role that you play. So I want you to think the energy that's coming up for me, and I watched Woman King recently and I'm just still so in love with that film. But what they're showing me is like the most prized warrior, which is who you are in the lives of many people. But you don't, like that most prized warrior will likely have like an inner circle of warriors that will always be with them. That's not a person that just goes out on their own, right? They are of special interest. They're a protected target because they are of great value to the entire community. And I feel like the message is the same for you. Even if others are not recognizing it, I don't think you're struggling to recognize the great value you are of to your communities. And when I say communities, I mean the various places in life that you show up for with different groups of people. But I think that what you're needing to do is then recognize that if I'm positioned in such a valued space, I'm a target to anything and anyone who is against the things that I'm standing for, right? Like I'm the first thing they're going against because I'm the strongest thing. So therefore you cannot neglect to bring in the energies of protection for yourselves. And I do think that for you, this group, a lot of earth energy coming through is you need to ritualize your protection. So the reason I say ritualize as well, it's actually not to create pomp and ceremony around it. It's not like you'll be more protected if you use this thing and less protected if you use another thing. I'm not saying that at all. The reason I'm saying ritualize it is that you're a group that you like functionality. Oh, another card was hiding in here at that moment. What is it? Ten of Swords, Two of Pentacles. You like functionality, you like things to function well, I should say. And the Ten of Swords and Two of Pentacles here is that when you're in a certain space of pain, challenge, difficulty, turbulence, when your life is changing, those are the times where it's harder for you to maintain certain things. Yeah, those are the times where it's really difficult for you to maintain your Eight of Pentacles systems. So really it needs to be like muscle memory, right? It needs to just be something that you do in the background. I would say right now for me, no, I can't say that. I have to keep certain things private about my practice. So I know that I don't even know why I started speaking on it. But I just like to help and give examples. But basically, there should just be things that you do that feel like a routine and a ritual at the same level, almost as brushing your teeth. And there can be times where you don't feel able to brush your teeth, right? You could be in states where you're not able to do all of that, which is fine. But at this point, they want you to start something. And if you're more developed along your spiritual path, it is just a nudge to be more discerning about it and more on top of it. They want you to start a practice, King of Wands at the bottom of the deck, that calls in your own protection. And I love this particularly because my own spirits of protection come through the King of Wands energy for me. So that's what they're saying, like, don't neglect to ask. And the asking is not actually so that it can happen, because a lot of these spirits are around protecting you anyway. You know, so the asking is so that your energy can collaborate with the protections that are available. Because if you're not asking, then your mind is not attuned to the need for it. And therefore, it's not available as something that you're collaborating with energetically, creatively with your spirits. So it creates a limitation. But when you're mentally like, right, need the protections, gathering that energy in, it's a partnership between you and spirit. Okay, well, they felt like you all needed a sermon to start with. I let the spirits do what they need to do.